So I see her with the gun now. She got the gun in her hand. So I'm looking, okay, we about to go. She finna put the gun in her, like doors open, you know what I'm saying? So I think she finna put the gun. So when I turn my back to put my baby in the thing, I hear the door slam. Boom! I look back, she got the gun pointed at me. Give it here, give it here. And so I got my baby in my hand. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, give it here. I ain't playing, give it here. I ain't got nothing but like $1,000. Give it here. I'm telling you. And then she, boom, shot.
All right, peace and blessings, all praises to the Most High. This video is going to give you a little insight about who I am. The scripture says there is a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof is death. So I'm going to show you a recent speaking event I did to a class at a mental health substance abuse center. And this is going to give you a little bit of my testimony. So I hope this testimony blesses you. And, you guys let me know what you think about my story in the comments. Peace and blessings.
If you don't know my name is Richard Taylor. And for Dixon, I'm a peer support specialist. I'm also a community activist. I'm a writer. I have 4 books, and I'm going to pass my books around the room so y'all can check them out. I've written 4 books. I'm a publisher for other people. I'm a minister, a mentor for kids, just somebody who likes to help people. But I'm also 4-time felon. I've been shot 2 different times, 4 times total. I've had brain surgery. I had a stroke. I've been wrongfully accused, been to jail a lot of times, had a serious alcohol and cocaine habit for like 28 years. I've just been in all sorts of stuff. And so I say that to kind of bring it full circle. Like, how did I get here from my life in the streets? And then how did I get to my life in the streets from how I was raised? So I grew up in Goldsboro, North Carolina, right up the street. I'm pretty sure if y'all stay around here, y'all know where Goldsboro is. Came from what they call a prototypical good household. 2 parents, they was in the church. Never had, never seen them fight, argue, never had women, calling the house for my dad, never seen, my dad drunk. They really were living the Christian lifestyle, right? We was in church Tuesday, Friday, Sunday night. We was in Pentecostal Holiness Church. That means, the holiness people, we couldn't go to movies. We couldn't, go to school dances. It was that type of deal. But in hindsight, I see what they was trying to keep me from. So I started off good, very smart in school, good in athletics, playing ball, went to church and stuff like that, played drums in church. I was a literal choir boy. Like, I sung in the choir. And I used to hate that at school because they used to put it on TV and everybody, we saw y'all. And so, you know what I mean? It was sort of embarrassing, but, that's the way I was raised. So about 12 or 13, I started gravitating to some of my friends who had a little bit more freedom. They might, and then I had some like older god brothers and, older friends in the church that had already started getting out into the streets, 15, 16, 17. So at that time, I started kind of gravitating to them because, it looked exciting to me. I had friends 12, 13, 14 years old that was smoking, that was coming to school with money because they was already hustling. They was in the gym rolling dice. I'm like, what's that? So it just grabbed me, right? And at the same time, we had the music. It's like the early 90s. So we had the music. These were the times Jay-Z and Biggie and Nas, Tupac, Mobb Deep. They talked about selling drugs, hustling, gangster lifestyle, big jewelry, guns. This is what you're supposed to be. And looking around, I looked at, some of the guys and, around the streets. I'm like, okay, that looks fun. So, I started smoking at 12, drinking at 12. Me and my little friends, and all of us came from like quote unquote good neighborhoods, where we would get get high in the morning before we go to school, get high before the basketball games. That became, our source of fun. Like if we had a game, smoking. If we had a dance, smoking. Went to the movie, smoking. That's what we did. We used it. We thought, that's what we had to do because that's what everybody else was doing. So by the time I was 15, 16, this is the 90s again. That's the crack era. So I wanted to be like, the guys on the corner. So I started trying to learn, right? I had an older guy brother. He was really heavy in the game. And so I saw him and I was like, man, that's it. So I started learning. I started sneaking around, standing on the block, started, learning how to, sell little grams, and, getting beat and learning stuff. Then, I learned how to gamble, what I'm saying? Learn how to, carry guns and stuff. So about 16, 17, that's when, I kind of start getting in trouble. And, at that time, I always relate like, okay, so I'm too big to get whoopings now. So as soon as I found out I can't get whoopings no more, then, I ain't what you gonna do to me? You know what I mean? I can't do nothing. Then another thing that happened around that time, it was my first sexual experience. So then I was like, okay, can't nobody tell me nothing. Like I'm grown now. I done had sex. I'm a man. I know it now. I made it. So about 17, 18, that's when I really started kind of learning how to move in the street, started making a few $100 a week, few thousand here and there. And so by the time I was 18 though, I still, my parents had a rule in the house. You still got to go to college. Still got to go to college or you got to go. So mind you, I was still smart. I was still smart in school. Even with all of this, I took the SAT. I took I took the SAT, got a I scored like like a 1,200 on the SAT. Woke up that morning, smoked the blunt, and that was that, right? I just God gifted me with smart. So I had letters from like Duke, MIT, Harvard, every school. Like I had two shoebox full of letters from colleges all around the nation. But I was like, I don't want to go to college. I'm just, I got people hitting me on my pager every morning, making $50 here, like, and then all my friends was doing it. And so I just reached in the box one day and I pulled out North Carolina Central because, okay, that's a black school. It's right up the road in Durham. I can't sell crack there, but I can sell weed. So that's what I did. Instead of, book supplies and notebooks and rulers, and I took 2 pounds of weed, in my suitcase to school. And sooner or later I became the weed guy. I became the weed guy, and it was just like home. So I kind of knew how to move. I kind of knew how to advertise. I kind of knew how to wear the chains, jewelry and stuff like that. But yeah. So I became that guy in Central. But somebody was plotting on me. So at the end of my first semester, 1996, I was playing cards with this guy. Took all his money, but I was really cheating him though. But he was slow. He was kind of slow. But people was watching, and so afterwards, I guess it was like, "Yo, man, he was cheating you the whole while." So that let him, have some animosity towards me. So one day, I didn't have any marijuana to sell, so he said, "Man, I gotta connect. I'm gonna call my boy." So he made a phone call, but all the while it was a setup. So we went to the west end of Durham. Me and about four other college students. He took me around, to a door. And in hindsight, like I should know it's a setup. But like I'm 18, I'm wild. So he get to a door. He look at a piece of paper. He act like he gonna knock. He was like, "Nah, this ain't it. This ain't it." Then so he was like, "I think it's around here." So he took me around to the back of the building. And all the while in my mind, I'm like, man, this is setup, but still like, I'm just like, okay, I feel like I'm invincible. So we get around the corner and it's all dark back there. Then somebody yells out, "Hey." So I turn around, it's a big dude dressed in all black, real black. I was like, man, this is it. You know what I'm saying? So he turned around, and when he turned around, it was a nice shiny 9 pointed at me. He was like, "Get on the ground, get on the ground. Both of y'all get on the ground." So he put both of us on the ground, but he only searched me. He only searched me, took off my jewelry, got in my pants or whatever, took off my jacket, and then he put the gun to my back. Boom. And I ain't feel nothing. Yeah, but I saw, I said that's when the blood started running down. It was in my shoulder. That's the wound right there. So he put it in the back and hit me right there. So I'm like, man, he just shot me. You know what I'm saying? So then I start praying. Like every day, like my childhood come back. Then, Lord, please, Lord. He's like, shut up, shut up, shut up. No, that's the devil. You know what I'm saying? Shut up, shut up. He ain't want to hear it. So he reached in my pockets. He stripped me down, sent me running to the store in my boxes. But all the while, I noticed he didn't touch dude. So that's how I knew in my hindsight, it was a setup. So dude came, I ran to the Arab store around the street, running to the Arab store. He pulled a gun out on me, so I'm like, nah, man, I'm shot. Cause, the way I ran in there. So I was like, no. So they called the police. The news actually came before the police came, putting cameras all in my face. So that was an incident, I called my parents. They came up. So that was an incident that should have changed me, right? But that made me worse because I'm like, okay, now I'm really a gangster. I've been shot, you know what I'm saying? So that's when Tupac was, so Tupac come around with the sling that's how I went back to school with the sling and the chain hanging, So, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, I'm that guy now, right? So that led to me just stop going to class. So my first semester was good. I went to school. It just came natural to me. But the second semester, all right, I'm just thugging. I'm just out selling weed, making money. Wake up, go to the liquor store, sit in my room all day and smoke. Girls and everybody come to buy weed, right? So I get home that summer, my grades come. It's all eyes on the second semester. So my parents like, yo, we ain't, you're not doing nothing there. But I really didn't want to be there no way. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to still be in the street. So I didn't go back to school. And for about, I think I was 19. So for about the next 2 or 3 years, I ran around Goldsboro. That's when, I started dibbling in the booger sugar, the nose candy, white girl, what I'm saying? Any name that you can think of. So, I started, getting with some friends who did it. It was always a stigma, but, I seen some cool cats doing it that I respected. So I was like, okay. So that led for me to just sitting around all day, getting high, gambling, drinking, hustling here and there. But I really won't making no money. I was just, making money to kind of get high to be around because I was just stuck in the everyday cycle of living in a small town with nothing to do. So from then, like I got like 3 DWIs. I got a couple of robbery charges. Thank God that the people didn't come to court. And it was like a terrible time, a dark time in my life that ended up with me getting a year in prison for my third DWI. Judge gave me that year, man. I went to the bunk, started crying. I was 21. And then so the old cat come and said, man, what's wrong? I said, man, they gave me a year, man. For what? I said, DWI. He said, man, you'll be out in 3 months. I said, what? He said, yeah, that's the old law. So the old law, you get day, so you get day for day. So that's only 6 months. Then with good time, man, you be out 4 months. I'm like, oh, okay. I got up, So they sent me to the noose prison. When I got there, I see a lot of people I know. Hey. I fell right into the prison routine, right? Working out, whatever. And then I had another charge of a hit and run. So the hit and run was a felony. So when I went back to court for that felony, they gave me 4 more months. They gave me 4 months, but it started then. So I was in like 3 months, so they gave me an extra 4 months. But that was a felony, so they had to send me to Polk Youth Center. Polk Youth Center was a different, but it was all young people. So all the young guys, I was in there with some young guys facing a lot of time. And, got in a couple of fights, whatever. But, then I came home. This was like 99. No, yeah, it was like 99. Right before 2000 hit, right? So came home for a while. Nothing in Goldsboro. Tried to go to school for a little bit, but, was right around my same friends. Started once again getting high, gambling, hustling, and getting into a whole bunch of stuff. Then, around that time, it was E-pills that came out. So everybody popping E, having a ball, blast, whatever. But during that time, I got into a few beefs, and it really wasn't my beefs. It was just people I was with. There was a lot of dangerous shootouts. And it was one particular night we was at a liquor house, and my peoples I was with, everybody just started shooting, and I'm literally hearing bullets. Pew, pew. Anybody ever been in a shootout can hear the bullets like pew, 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 and I'm ducking behind the car. I'm hearing them pew, 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 pew. And I'm like, man, I got to get out of here. So, probably 2 days later, I had a god brother who stayed in Virginia. Now we grew up in the same church. He avoided this, right? He avoided this. So he was in Virginia because he went to Elizabeth City State. And that was only like 45 minutes from Virginia. So he went there and, I was like, man, it was Thanksgiving. I called him. He was home. I was like, man, let me go back with you, man. Like, shoot, come on, man. Come on, man. I feel you. Come on. Like, that was my brother. So I left. I had like a trash bag full of clothes. I think my mama gave me $50. My daddy gave me $50. I think I was like 22, 23. Went up to Virginia Beach. It was a whole new world. It's great, right? It's great. I can make a change, right? So my godbrother was like, look, you can stay here for free for a month. But the next month, I'm going to need this on the bills, this on the bills, this and that. And I never had that responsibility, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I just floated from place to place and stayed with my mom here and there, stayed with a girl here and there. So, boom, I got a job. I got a job at a 7-Eleven, got a job at a shipyard, and I was working. I was really, and I was really coming back into who I was. Like, on my off days, I would go to the library. Because, I like to read. That's why it was easy for me to write the books because I had read so many books that writing a book came natural. So I was doing my thing. I was reading it. But then I got kind of bored. I started saving money. So I was like, and on the way to the shipyard, we had to ride down Virginia Beach Boulevard, like through Virginia Beach and Norfolk all the way to the shipyard. And every day we would ride by this corner store. And I would see the cats at the corner store. I was like, man, that reminded me of how I used to stand at the corner store. And I knew I could get whatever I wanted at that corner store. So one day I said, man, when I get off work, I'm getting off the bus at that corner store, and I'm going to find me some cocaine. And that's what I did. I got off the court. The first person I asked, hold on, man, let me call my homeboy. Called his homeboy. Boom. I got on the bus, got his number. Next thing you know, I'm calling him every 2 or 3 days. So then I switched up and got another job at a place called Ticketmaster. That's a call center. Big call center, young people, old people, everybody there smoking, the call center atmosphere. Everybody smoking, everybody smoking. I was like, all right, everybody smoke. If I get a pound, I can, be the weed man at work. That's what I did. Didn't take long. Next thing you know, my phone ringing for about 2 or 3 weeks. I was like, man, I ain't got to go to work no more. You know what I'm saying? I got a nice, so I quit that job, and that's how my career being in Virginia Beach. Now, this way it took a turn because I sold some weed to a major coke dealer, and he took a liking to me. He liked my hustle. I wasn't from there. I was new. Nobody knew me, but people like Rick got a weed. Who is Rick? You know what I'm saying? So he met me. He took a liking to me. He introduced me to some of his old players out in Norfolk. I used to go over there. We used to gamble and stuff. And then, I used to buy cocaine from him. And he said, man, you got a lot of customers, man. Why are you sitting here buying this? Like, you can buy this and, tell people you got it. And then that's what I did. Like, and when I did that, within about a month, I wasn't selling weed no more. I was selling cocaine. But also, I was doing a lot, because I had it like unlimited supply. So I would sit and do it, party, girls, homeboys, have dice game at the crib, all of that. But that's when my habit got really bad because after everybody went home, I still had the bag, and, if anybody know anything about cocaine or crack, like once you stop, it's hard to start. Once you start, it's hard to stop. So I would be up, all night. Then my phone ringing. So yeah, come on. And, all night. And then I try to stop in the morning. My phone ringing again. People going to work want it. And this is Virginia Beach, like white people, doctors, lawyers, real estate agents, funeral home directors. Like these were like, and that's what made me, so different than some of my homeboys because they wouldn't deal with the white people. So I was like, those are the ones that got the money, and those are the ones that ain't got to worry about robbing me because they, so I had a nice, steady clientele, and, that put me on like my lifestyle was like, just like this, So, I moved out from my homeboy because my homeboy saw it happening. He was like, man, it's getting out of control. Like he would let me have dice games at the house. He knew when I started hustling, he was like, man, don't bring nobody to the house though. But then sooner or later, it just got out of it. People just started knocking on the door and I got lazy. Just meet me outside, my man. So then next thing you know, I just, man, You know what I mean? I just start letting people come in the house, and he couldn't handle it because that wasn't his life. You know what I'm saying? So he moved with his girlfriend, left me the house. That, you know what I'm saying? I had a dice game one day. Dice game got robbed. That somebody would start breaking into the house. So then I had to go to another house in the beach. I said, I'm gonna leave my black people alone, you know what I'm saying? Because, it was them, supposed to be my homeboys breaking in my house. I'd be out of town. Where you at, man? Where you at? I come back, my house broke into. So I was like, I'm gonna leave y'all niggas. But I couldn't because those are my guys too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was lonely. So I'm down the beach, man. But I knew they was grimy. Next thing you know, we had another dice game. They robbed, you know what I'm saying? Somebody, but it was at a point in time too that all these guys grew up together. I just moved to their neighborhood, but they was robbing each other too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just grimy because certain people was getting more money than others, so there was jealousy around. So that house got robbed. So I was like, man, I gotta go to another place. So then I went to another place. I chilled out for a minute, but some of the guys was cool. Like, some of the guys was real hustlers, but they still messed with the other guys. But they was, you know what I'm saying? It was just the game we was living. So like we would come to the territory. So this time, I had a nice townhouse. So that's when I got into real estate because I noticed, like, I was like, okay, I can't do this forever. So what do I want to do? So I took the real estate class. I got in real estate. They gave me my license, and I started going to the office. I was working with it because it was actually a white customer of mine. She was a real estate agent. You'll be good in real estate. She taught me how to dress and what color tie to wear. So she had me going to the office. I got a briefcase, but all the way out of the briefcase, I got, some illegalities in the briefcase. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it was. So I had one foot out, one foot in. I was trying my best, but I still had that habit too. So I would actually get on my knees and pray to God sometimes, like, Lord, please, Lord, I just can't stop. Please help me, But then I would wake up, I would even go to church some Sundays and go to church and cry and snot. You know what I'm saying? You know how you feeling guilty, God. You know what I'm saying? Lord. But then I would get home. I still got a closet full of cocaine, and I still got my phone. I still got my bills. I still got this lifestyle. Dang, I ain't gonna do it no more. I ain't gonna do it no more. I still gotta sell it, but then I open the bag and the smell hit me. I can't resist. You know what I'm saying? So then it starts to cycle all over again. So that went on for about 5 years, from 2003 to 2008. I tried to get my life together here and there, on and off again. When my house got robbed in like 2006, that's when I said, okay, I'm done with the game. So that's when, I tried to work job. I worked the regular job for a while. And I was out the game for a while, but I still had a habit. Like, I was working at a call center making like $1,500 a week. But every night I would go home, get me a little bag, sit in my room all night. Call the guy about 3 or 4 times. Next day, that's 150 gone. The next night, 200 gone. By the time the end of the week is, I'm ready for my next paycheck. And it went like that for like a year. And so during that time, I met my child's mother, and met her, and within about 2 or 3 weeks, she was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So I was raised to, be a man. So she had more kids. I was like, no, don't worry about it. Like, I'm gonna be there, and this was it was good for a while until I lost that job. You know what I'm saying? And when I got with her, I kind of slowed down off the pile and stuff because, I had somebody, she had kids, and it was a family. So I would spend my money on that. But I lost the job like 3 months before my daughter was born. So $1,500 went to $300 a week with unemployment. So I was like, man, ain't no way, you know what I'm saying? So how else can I make money the way I used to make it? So I called my old connect, and literally, like, in hindsight, I called my old connect, and I said, when I was dialing, I said, man, this ain't gonna end well for me. It's not gonna end well for me. And so, as soon as I called up my old customers, I was right back swinging. So I was right back swinging within a month. Now, once again, I got the bag, so now I'm getting high again. I'm coming. Like, I wouldn't go home because I wouldn't want her to see me high, so I would just sit out in the car all night. And then come in when it's time for her to go to work, take her to work. But she knew, you know what I'm saying? She knew, she can see because she ain't stupid. And so that caused a strain on us. So long time, you know what I'm saying? Then, I seen where it was going. So I got out, moved, got a place. And then, I started just running around. It got worse and worse because now I can sit at home and do, have, my little girls over and all that stuff. Like, and so my baby was born. My baby was born. I was at the hospital still. I mean, I got a bottle of Hennessy in my back pocket. I'm walking out the room every now and then to go to the bathroom. You know, my baby born, held her for a minute. Beautiful baby. But I gotta go get high. You know what I mean? I gotta go get high. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hugged her. All right, okay, I'll see you later. So gave her the baby back. And so, but, you know, during that time, you know, I still came to see her, but there was a strain because, you know, I still was still high thinking I could come see the baby when I want to and stuff like that. So it was like a power struggle. I didn't see that at the time. So this particular time I had I was waiting on the place. I was waiting on the place and I had a hotel in Virginia Beach. And it was the winter time, so the hotel rooms are cheaper in the winter because it's off season. So I got like a room for like 2 weeks, right? And I was up there, same thing, getting high, having girls, you know, making plays, going out here. So I met this girl one day. And when I met her, I said, okay, I'm gonna come get you later. So when I came to get her, I had like maybe $4,000 in my pocket, but it was like all 20s and 10s. I had been all day, so it was like bucky. So I'm like, man, I just met this girl. I don't know who she is. So, but I'm still speedballing. So when I get there, I'm like, oh man, I got all this money in my pocket. So I'm thinking, where can I put it at? So while she walked to the car, I tried to stuff the money in the seat behind me, but it wouldn't go in the seat. You know, it wouldn't go in the seat. And so when she get in there, I just pulled the money back and just put it in my pocket. Her eyes got big. So, oh, you got. I was like, yeah, what's up? So basically we went to, you know, my hotel. We did our thing and stuff. And she was like, on the way back home, she was like, man, I got this homegirl. My homegirl at this other room, and she got a man in the room, and he got a gun in the car. She said she gonna go out there, unlock the car, so I can go get the gun. And I'm like, all right. So soon as we do that, like, it was real. It was real. Like she went in there, got the gun, but because now I'm on point, I said, nah, give me the gun. You know what I'm saying? Until I drop you off, right? Give me the gun. So I took the gun, drove her, drop off. She's like, okay, yeah. But wait a minute, it get worse. It get worse. So I get the gun. You know, she get out, handle the gun. All right, okay, boom. Next couple of times, she called me, you know what I'm saying? I'm still at the room. I pick her up. We do our thing, but every time, give me the gun. You know what I'm saying? Like every time you got the gun on you, all right, give me the gun, I'll put it up, give it back to you when you leave, right? Because she would always talk about, like, do you got anybody we can rob? You got anybody we can rob? I was like, nah, that's not my thing. That's not my hustle. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, she got anybody like, but she was like I said, she was street. That's what attracted me to her. Like that's the mindset, right? Yeah, she gangster, right? You know what I'm saying? She had, you know, had everything. You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah. So this one particular night, you know, I had been at the room. I was feeling once I was coming off that high. Oh man, I need to see my baby, man. I've been sober like maybe a day or two. So I'm like, okay, now. Okay, trying to tell her, let me go see the baby. And she did. She let me come get the baby, bring it to my room, right? I'm in the room chilling, not doing nothing, just, you know, feeding my baby and playing with it and stuff. And so this girl kept calling me, though. This girl kept calling me. The same girl kept calling me. I'm like, I'm not messing with you tonight. Nah, I'm good. She kept calling. So it got about 2 o'clock in the morning. Baby sleep. I said, I could use a little something, you know what I'm saying? So she called the cab down there. She called the cab down there. She come in the room. Let me see the gun, right? She give me the gun. And, you know, I put it under the couch, right? But this particular night, like, I had my baby, so I really want to worry. Like, okay, so I got my baby, you know, we in here, like, you know, my baby woke up, she feeding the baby, she changing the baby. You know, we do our little thing while my baby sleep, you know. This the first day. So then, you know, after all that, I pull out the bag. You know what I'm saying? Pull out the bag, start, you know, getting high. And she watching me, and she was like, "Let me get some." So she first time I ever seen her, you know, hit the bag. So she hit the bag. You know, we went and did our thing. Once again, she said, well, "Do you know somebody we can rob?" I'm like, "Nah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, like I said." But once again, I'm insane, right? My mind ain't thinking right. So this particular night. So the morning come, and the guy who I had put in the application for the apartment he called me, Mr. Taylor, I approved you. You know what I'm saying? So you know, you can come, you know, drop off your deposit. I was like, yeah. So boom. So I'm getting my baby ready. It's cold. Like, so I'm putting on a little snowsuit. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, right, so was knock on the door. Knock on the door. Maintenance guy, white guy. This like I said, no offense to anybody that don't believe in God, but I see God was working that day, right? White guy, maintenance guy. He knew I had been there, right? I see him, you know what I'm saying? So I open the door. He's like, "Hey man, you got an iron?" I said, "Yeah, I got an iron." Yes, I said, "Yeah." They said, "You all right, man?" I said, "Yeah," but he probably seen like the disheveled coat head look in my eye. "You all right, man?" "Yeah, I'm all right, man." He said, "All right, man." So boom, that happened, right? So then next, I'm getting my baby ready. No, she getting up. The other girl getting, she getting ready to go too. While what was getting. So now I hear another knock on the door. It's the maid, right? "Hey, you need any towels and stuff?" And she's sitting on the couch. She's like, I said, "Nah, I'm good. Just give me some rags and stuff." She said, "Okay." She asked me the same thing. "Baby, you all right?" I said, but then she was an older black lady, so I felt like I could confide with her. I was like, "Nah, I'm not all right." You know what I'm saying? Because it was just the life. Like I said, I knew something was bad was going to happen. So I was like, "Nah, I'm all right." She was like, "Baby, whatever it is, baby, whatever it is, just plead the blood of Jesus. Just plead the blood of Jesus." So I had a brother, and he was out in the streets, and he just never could get it right. But now he doing good, this, that, and the other. So whatever it is, baby, you can be all right. I said, "Okay." Close the door, right? Next thing, my baby mama called. Baby mama called, right? So she was like, "Hey, Richard." And once again, I just made, women's intuition or whatever. "Bring me my baby. Bring me my baby," right? And so the way she said it, I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna bring it when I get there." You know what I'm saying? Like, what? So "Bring my baby now. Bring my." I said, "Okay, okay." Well, then I hung up on it, right? Hung up. You know what I'm saying? Styling, right? In front of the so my baby mama called again. Baby mama called again, and I'm like, answer the phone, right? But I'm still feeling something, right? So I get her the phone, and she answered the phone. So, but I'm still feeling something. So I go to open up the door because like it's an outside motel room. It's not the inside motel room. It's the outside. Like as soon as you open the door, you outside. So I I open the door, right? I open the door, and I see the girl on the phone, right? And because, so I was like, "Okay, well, just let me grab my baby, put her in the car seat, and I'm gonna go out." Because by then I'm like, "Okay, so just something ain't right, right?" And so I see her with the gun now. She got the gun in her hand, so I'm looking, like, okay, we about to go. She finna put the gun in her, like doors open, you know what I'm saying? So I think she finna put the gun. So when I turn my back to put my baby in the thing, I hear the door slam. Boom! I look back, she got the gun pointed at me. "Give it here, give it here." And so I got my baby in my hand. I'm like, "Come on, man." I'm like, "Give it here. I ain't playing. I ain't playing. Give it here. I ain't got nothing but like $1,000. Give it here. I'm telling you." And then she, boom, shot. She shot me like right here, like in the lower back, upper buttock, right? Boom. And so then, but in hindsight, like I see her jumping back. So I think it was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? So then I was like, man. But I remember the maze is next door. So I'm knocking on the door. I started doing like this. "Hell, hell, hell." Then she ran up on me. "Make another sound. I'm gonna shoot you in your head." Right? She had the gun in my head. I'm like, "Come on, quit playing." So if you don't give me the money, I'm gonna shoot you in your and tell them that you tried to, or take something from me that don't belong to me. Right? So I'm like, "Come on, man, chill out, man, chill out." So at that point, I got my baby in this arm. She like this. So I was just like, I ain't really got nothing to lose. So I guess I grabbed the gun. Grabbed the gun. So we tussling, right? Boom, boom, boom. But mind you, I'm already shot, right? So now I'm trying to fight, and I'm like, she was thick now. She wasn't no little girl, but she was put together nice. So we tussling. So all of a sudden I go to one knee. She trying to hit me with the gun. I'm ducking and hiding. So at this point I fall, right? I fall on my back. So when I fall on my back, she put the gun right here. Boom! Right? And I said, "Lord have mercy." You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man. it's over. Like, I don't even want to live no more. If that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, that's how I was thinking. I was like, well, I'm just going to sit here and die, you know. But mind you, I'm drunk, I'm high, so I really don't feel nothing, right? So I don't know where she shot me at, right? So I'm just living, but I see all the blood all up in here, right? I had on some brown dickies, I never forget. So then I'm like, all right, forget it, man. So she trying to rummage through my pockets. But I'm about to just let it go. But then my baby right there. So now I'm saying, I'm still trying to fight now. So I get more fight in me. I get up, try to stand up, you know, still trying to fight. Then she, you know what I'm saying? I'm already, so she kind of, you know, tripped me down. And I landed on my back this time. I mean, I landed on my stomach, face down. And then she put it like right to my rectum. Boom. That's when I said, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, well, I'm just gonna lay here. You know what I'm saying? And so she took the money. She really, you know, bloody money, like $1,000, took the money. And then she, you know, said, I'm looking at, you know, she run out the door, peek out the door, and then she gone, right? So I'm just laying there like, all right, go. But then my baby's and I look at her, she got blood all over her. So I'm like, well, I don't even know if she hit. So let me at least, you know, try to crawl to the. So I tried to stand, I couldn't walk. So I just crawled to the door, open up the door. And I'm like, help. And so mind you, the maze next door, people heard the gunshots, but ain't nobody, as soon as I open the door, that's when they open the door like this. And so then everybody came out, you know, it was a couple of, you know, it was a couple of girls who stayed in the room next door that I would talk to or whatever. They came, and then you know, everybody started coming. Hey, what's wrong? I said, my baby. So a white lady, I never forget. She was like, she heard that, so she went and grabbed the baby. She went and grabbed my baby. She said, so what's her mother's number? So I gave her the mother's number, and she took the baby out of the scene, because if the baby was there, like, she would probably be in the system today, right? So I think I never seen that lady before in my life, never seen her after. So, and she ended up calling my.
You know what that was?
The angel.
You know what that was?
Yeah. So she ended up, you know, my baby mama ended up coming to get the baby. So then the girls, because they knew I was hustling, she was like, is there anything in the room? Is there anything in the room? Anything we need to get? I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? But now I had like probably like a half an ounce of cocaine in my drawers, right? But I'm not thinking about that. You know, I'm thinking about, you know, just, you know, surviving, right? So I'm not thinking about that. So when the police get there first, right? Police get there first.
Wild.
Yeah, right. Police get there first. Ambulance come, right? So the ambulance come, you know what I'm saying? So they start cutting off my pants, because like they see all the blood, right? They cut off the pants, the cocaine fell out. We got dope! I'm like, just save me, like, you know what I'm saying? So they, you know what I'm saying? They get the police that, and she, you know, they take me to the hospital. You know, they got me in the hospital. You know, I'm still numb. I don't feel nothing. So they got me on the thing, the triage joint. You know what I'm saying? So they, you know how they put the thing over your body and they looking. You know what I'm saying? The doctor's whispering. Right? So, but I'm really thinking, like, I was like, well, you know what I mean? I know it's gone. You know what I'm saying? I can't. You know what I'm saying? I see all the, so they whispering. I just finally get the courage to ask one of the nurses. I was like, man. Because they looking on the thing, they whisper, so I'm thinking the words. So I just asked us, I'm like, nurse. Because I'm afraid to look, so I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I said, is it still there? She said, yeah, it's still there. I said, okay. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, cool, I'm good now. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to get out and get high again now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? That was my biggest fear. Like, you know, not even the welfare of my baby, right? So the police come in there, yo, you know who shot you, what you said, they showed me a picture of her. Because, you know, it's like she ran out the room, she ain't had nowhere to go. So they showed me a picture of her. I was like, yeah, that's her. And she was just smiling like this in the picture. Like on the street where they caught her at, you know, in the same outfit, she like this. Like, this girl is crazy. Right? You know what I'm saying? She was really crazy, right? So I was like, yeah, that's her. He was like, what happened? I said, I don't know. He said, where'd the dope come from? I said, oh, she must have planted on that with me, sir. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, all right, I'll be back. So they had me in the hospital, right? They had me in the hospital for like a day or two. Now, 2 of the bullets, they were still stuck. Like, you know, because like she shot me right here. You know what I'm saying? She shot me like right in my groin. So it went this way and it came out like right here. So it stuck right there. And then the one that she shot me like in the rectum, I guess she didn't miss it, hit and bounced up and hit me like somewhere right here. So both of those bullets like were still in me, but I could see them. Like I could see them. I'm like, why they not pulling these bullets out, right? And so, you know, they was like, well, we just gotta wait and stuff. And so then the police came back the next day. Like, yeah, man, we still want to know. I said, man, I don't know. But that's when I realized, okay, they just keeping me here so the police can, you know, do the investigation or whatever. So after the police left that night, I was like, man, I'm getting out of here. So imagine my parents had already came. Like my parents came, you know, they heard about it. They came the first day. My sister came, you know, they brought me changing clothes or whatever. They found out I was found. They went back to North Carolina. So I was like, man, I'm getting out of here. Yeah, you good. So I'm getting out of here. So I took the bullets out, you know, because they were literally like, I could literally just pull them out. So I took the bullets out, called one of my customers who live by the hospital. You know what I mean? He came to get me, so he came to get me. He took me right back to the hotel, but I didn't have the room key. So I couldn't get in. Had it, first of all, first order of business was getting some more cocaine, right? So I got some more. And then, you know, I got him straight. Then he dropped me off at another hotel. But then I went to but then what's the drugstore? I think might have been Eckert's. It might have still been Eckert's then. I don't know. It might have been, but it was Rite Aid or something like that. I don't know. So I went there, got me some little gauze, got me some little some little pads, some little saline solution, got me some duct tape because I ain't know that I did. So I went to the hotel, you know, in between getting high. I was, doctoring my wounds and stuff. Still, just like trying to call people. I'm back. I'm back. Man, I'm back. So then the next day, I go back to the hotel. Go back to the hotel, and I had to go to the office. Go to the office. Hey, yeah, I was in the room. So the office guy, he let me in. And instead of getting all my stuff out, I mean, I'm talking about they still got like it's still blood stains, it's still fingerprint stuff on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Instead of getting all, I started getting high in the room. But I'm just I'm living, but I'm still shocked though. Like I'm acting tough, right? But in hindsight, I'm just I literally just survived that. But just like when I got shot in college, it didn't quite register the gravity of it because I'm still under the influence, right? So I'm in there getting high, getting high, not even getting all my stuff out. Take some stuff down to the car every now and then, but I'm just sitting there getting high. So then I get a knock on the door. Doom, doom, doom. Look out, it's the police. I said, okay, so I grab the cocaine, put it in my little hiding place in a suit jacket in my closet. And so they come and say, yeah, Mr. Tay. I said, yeah, what y'all, did y'all get her? You know, that was what I said, did y'all, what you want me to do? He said, nah, so put your hands behind your back. I said, why, what you mean? He said, yeah, we're going to charge you with the cocaine that we found on you, right? So that was probably the best thing that happened to me because I was able to, they took me to jail, Virginia Beach. They don't give you no bond if you got a record like mine. So they gave me no bond. So I had to sit in there for like 2 weeks until I got a bond hearing. Got a bond hearing. But then that's when it really started to register like, man, you know what I mean? I just almost got me and my baby killed. Like, and so that's when that's when you start to really see yourself. So I messed around and they finally gave me a bond. So I, once again, like I had somewhere to go, but I didn't. So I wanted to go home. I wanted to go home to my mom and daddy. This time I'm 30 though, right? I'm 30. So I said, I'm going home. So after I get out of the hospital, of course, first thing I do though is get some cocaine. Went and got some cocaine, then went by to see my baby. Her mother, she didn't want to let me see her because like nobody was like, you don't let him see. And I didn't understand at the time, but yeah, she don't need to be with him. This nigga crazy, right? So, but she did let me see my baby, so then I hit the road to North Carolina. Still getting high. And for about 2 weeks. I went back. Of course, my people down there done heard about it. So of course now, they want to talk to me. They want to get high with me and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So I rode around for about about a week, in this rental car that I had, and out one night with some other guys. We going to a bar, but I've been up for like 2 or 3 days, so I'm just driving stupid, riding down the road where we know the police at, speeding. And the police be down here. As soon as I pass them, daddy, woo! So I hit the lights, boom, hit the lights on them, then I hit the corner on them, went to this neighborhood and parked. I got away, right? And the club was right down the street, so I'm like, man, let's get out. Well, nah, man, we can't leave here, man. We ain't walking nowhere. So against my better judgment, I was like, wait about 20 minutes. I drove out the driveway, turned on the corner, the police sitting right there. Woo! Once again, got a DWI. Now at this point, you know what I'm saying, had some cocaine on me. I knew how to, hide at places where they couldn't find it, so they didn't get it. But I went to jail, and I'm in jail. Yeah, like in the holding room before they take me upstairs. So I get into it with the guards. They kind of beat me up or whatever. And then, so this point I get bailed out. And then that's when, I was just like, all right, man. So that's when I started turning my life, trying to get back to God, right? And so from 2009 to 2011, that's about 3 or 4 months, when I started going to church with my family and getting back right. That's when I first started writing that first book. That was the beginning of 2009. And I wrote half of it within like 3 months. I would go to the library, write. But a turning point was when they denied me for my real estate in North Carolina, my real estate, because I had one in Virginia. Only thing you had to do was apply and you could get a license. But because I had the pending cocaine charge in Virginia, they denied it. And so that sent me on another downward spiral. So we're going to cut it right there. I hope I'll be able to get to finish the story, because what you said, about 15 minutes for questions. Okay. What time is it there? What time is it? My watch fast. That's always fast. 10:39.
Oh, yeah, you got about 2 minutes.
Okay. So, all right. So when they denied me, what I'm saying, I still started trying to go to church, but I started to get back in high. So I couldn't, what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one of those who can go up in church and, be trying to sing the choir, and I ain't right? So, and I noticed that one day, like, I was getting high. We had choir rehearsal practice, right? And I went and I couldn't, I knew I had practice that night, but I couldn't put it down. So I walked up in the high and was like, nah. So that's just, I just left the church altogether and went back to doing what it was in Goldsboro before I left, just hanging around with the same old addicts, the same old liquor houses every day, gambling, hustling here and there, get a job here and there, but spend all my money on, things like that. So it got to a point for 2 years. That lasted like 2 years. And I put the book down. I put that book down. It was halfway written. I kept telling you, I'm writing the book. I'm writing the book. People don't, if you're not writing it, if you don't finish it, they don't care. So it was July 2011. And I was like, man, I'm sitting around here all day getting high, spending all my money. I might as well get some cocaine and go back to Virginia and do what I've been doing, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here just wasting my life. So that's what I did. It was July 4th. Never forget it. July 4th, I bought some from down here, went back to Virginia, still got all my old contacts, start calling them. And it was like I never left. Yeah, man, okay, come see me. I went down there and I would start making my rounds, seeing my old customers. And, I sold what little, it wasn't a little bit, but it was a little bit to me. I sold what I had that day, except a little bit, like a 16. I don't know if y'all know what a 16 is, but 16. So I had like a 16 left, right? So I get up with my old homeboys, the same old homeboys that was robbing and stealing and killing each other, basically. Like a couple of them killed each other. So we go out. It's 4th of July. We partying. You know what I'm saying? Then we go to this after party, this after strip party, right? So we go to this after strip party. We in there chilling, and 2 guys was in there that had beef. So after the party, everybody outside, all of a sudden, right? So the guy that I came with got hit. You know how you standing over talking to a girl in the car like that, leaning over? The girl I was talking to got hit. My man beside me got hit. You know what I mean? So I was like, man. And so now everybody took off running. So I take off running down the street. And of course the police come. But I'm walking down the street now, right? But I'm still by the scene. So of course everybody's a suspect. Woo! Nah, they ain't even I ain't been over there with them. See ID. Get my ID. He was like, well, Mr. Taylor, you got a warrant. I said, for what? He said, for leaving the state of Virginia while you on probation. Because like when I was down there, I did, go back to court and they gave me probation. But I got the probation transferred to North Carolina. But also I had got a driving charge in North Carolina too that violated me too. So all that came together, they took me to jail. And again, I had to stuff the cocaine in my pocket somewhere where I knew they couldn't find it. But this particular day, I'm still stupid. I'm under the influence, right? So I called my bondsman, one of the bondsmen I sell to, right? It's like 2 or 3 in the morning, man. I'm down here, man. Come get me, man, before they take me upstairs. Because when they take you upstairs, that's when they do the strip search. Like, come get me, man. I can't get there till like 5 in the morning, man. So like, come on, man. Hurry up, man. Like, man, all right, man, I'm coming. I can't rush him. You know what I'm saying? So they put me in a holding cell. And if I would have been quiet, right, it probably wouldn't have been this bad. But what I do, I take out the bag from where I got it hid. I'm turning around in the cell. So I'm hiding the cell. I'm rapping Jay-Z. So, you know what I'm saying? I go turn back around. Yeah, you rapping, you know what I'm saying? You doing this, banging on the doors. They got tired, right? So, all right, come on, man. We're going to dress you out. I said, man. All right, but I'm still thinking I can beat the system. I put it in between my cheeks. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, well, but how am I do it? Because I don't know how to put it all the way up like some people was doing, but I don't know how to do all that. I can't go all that far. You know what I'm saying? But that's how they got to do it in prison. Like, they cats be putting cell phones up there. I'm like, yo, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I didn't put it right between the cheeks so it don't fall out. I ain't putting nothing. That's real talk. So we get in there, right? So, but I know I gotta fake them out, though. I gotta fake them out somehow, right? So I'm in there. They strip me all down. You know what I'm saying? They hold up your hands. They play you, you know what I'm saying? All right, bend over and squat. Yeah, right there. Right? You know what I'm saying? Bend over, spread your cheeks and squat, right? So this point, I'm at a dilemma. You know what I'm saying? Because if I spread my cheeks, it's coming out. So what I do is, I try to turn around and I grab it real quick. I grab it. But he see me grab it. Said, what's in your hand? You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing in my hand. So he tried to grab my hand. So I just, right, put it in my mouth. But my mouth's so dry. You know what I'm saying? My mouth's so dry. You know what I'm saying? I can't swallow it. I can't swallow. So first, of course, he's down butt naked. So he jump on me. You know what I'm saying? Hey. And the next thing you know, it's 6 deputies. 6 deputies in the room. They grab my throat, and so now I can't swallow a whole, so now I'm trying to chew it. You know what I'm saying? So now, so now I'm chewing it, but if anything you know about cocaine, it makes your whole joint numb. So I can't, so my whole mouth numb. I'm just trying to get it down. They got one finger around my throat, on my back, pulling me. They got me in the figure 4, the full Nelson. You know what I'm saying? I'm still fighting. I'm trying to chew. I'm trying to gather as much spit as I can. Won't no spit gather. So now it was genius. Now it's really an example of how evil they are. But it was genius because now, so like the nurse, she coming there with the tongue thing where they be like, you go to the dentist, they put the little flat. She trying to jab that in my mouth. I ain't budging. Now my mouth locked anyway, so it ain't got a lock. You stupid. Yeah, my mouth, you know what I'm saying? They ain't moving lower. I can't even swallow if I wanted to. Right? So now officer, he know I ain't opening my mouth. So what does he do? What y'all think he did? He do like this. I couldn't read, right? It was genius. So I had, I had or die, right? But that's a point, when I'm talking about leave. They was willing to kill me to get that cocaine. If I would have died, they would have said, "What? I choked off cocaine or I overdosed." But no, they literally tried to. They were willing to kill me to get that little bit of. Now, after all was said and done, the only thing they got was the plastic bag because you know what I'm saying. Hey, everything, yeah. So they got the plastic bag out. You know what I'm saying. But now, like I said, my mouth numb and I'm bleeding. Right. So now, mind you, I don't know, and I'm super duper. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, high, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm super duper high. So I'm bleeding, and I think they cut my lip off. I said, y'all cut my lip off. I can't feel nothing. Like, it's nothing, and I'm bleeding. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I said, y'all cut my lip off. So listen, I'm spitting and everything. So I'm spitting. I'm spitting. I'm saying, y'all cut my lip off. But there's no mirrors, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm spitting. So now they put the little dog mask, the spitting mask on me. I don't know y'all ever seen. They put the spitting mask on me. So I'm still crying. They come on lip off and stuff. So now once again I'm super high. So now they gotta take me. I'm butt naked. So now they take me in the little the what they call it the SED, but it's something else where they put you in the turtle suit. Oh, y'all know what the turtle suit is? They put me in the green turtle suit, like you know what I'm saying. Now, and it's not a straight jacket; it's just the turtle suit because you ain't got no clothes on. Yeah, you good. So they put me in the turtle suit for about 3 days, and they had to give me a psyche evaluation and all that to get out. I did the evaluation. They had to wait another 2 days to get me out. And then you know what I'm saying? Like they let me out into population, right? And that I had to sit in for 6 months because with the violation, then I had the possession of a substance by a prisoner. And so 5 months I sat in there, and that's when I really like got rid of. I said, okay, man, I'm 30. How old was I? I was like 33. And I was in there talking to people about this, that, and the other. But one day, my daughter, who was 3 at the time, right, I'm thinking she don't know where I'm at, right, and she was talking on the phone. She said, "Daddy, are you getting out of the jail today?" At 3 years old, and I'm like, "Ah, man, that really hurt me." Like I was like, "Nah, yeah, right." So that is when I got out, and about 6 months later in 2011. I started going back to school in Tidewater Community College. And, I actually worked for 3 months and finished the book. So in uh, February of 2000, well, I actually finished it in 2012. But in February, so I had a book signing at the school. So, and I did good for a while, but as you'll later hear, because I had this. If y'all let me tell the story another week or whatever. But yeah, but that was the major. That's how that first book came about because I had to figure out how did I get from the little Richard Smart guy, church, drums, athletes to almost dying with my baby. And that book, well, writing that helped me to see myself from a outside perspective because I wrote it like I was the main character. I wrote it like fiction, but the story's about me. So I was able to look at all of my decisions in life and how they brought me to that point. And that book was sort of therapeutic because I had to admit, I had to look at myself and say, yeah, I did that. Like that was nobody I can blame but me. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all don't take anything from that, just take that. Like when you look at your life, we are where we at because of the decisions we made. And I am here today because of the decisions I made 6 years ago to go to recovery. You know what I mean? That I made that decision. So now I'm able to write books. I gotta once again be able to have this job, be able to talk to y'all, be able to help other people, be able to do, like I got a YouTube podcast, Taylor House Publishing. Y'all, if y'all don't click on it and subscribe, y'all missing out. But yeah, so I'm able to do that. I, literally thank God, like hundreds of thousands of people listen to me a day, now. So I'm able to share experiences, but also fight against injustices as well. So it ain't never too late. Like I said, I started at 41, I, that's how my life changed, 41, And I thought I was going to be stuck in this cycle forever and ever and ever and ever. But I got tired. You know what I'm saying? I got tired of it. And, you know, one day when they had me in jail, 2019, for another violation, I looked and I saw an old 71-year-old man was pushing himself into jail. He had a walker. He had a respirator. And I looked at him. I said, I was laying on my bed. I was thinking, if I don't change, that's going to be me. That's going to be me. And then I realized every time that I had been to jail or prison, drugs and alcohol was involved. And that's when I made a decision. If God get me out of this, I'm going to go to recovery. And I prayed 3 specific prayers and he gave me those answers and he got me out of it. So we'll tell you that story later. Any questions?
Yeah.
Thank you.
How long did you stay in recovery?
4 months. Now, it was supposed to be a year-long program. I went in November of 2019, but if y'all remember, COVID hit, and like it really hit before then, but everybody started knowing what it was in like March. And that's when they were talking about shutting the whole country down and martial law and all that stuff. But I was way out in the woods of Pisgah Forest, North Carolina, in the mountains with a bunch of white people. Now, they was cool, I ain't saying that, but I'm like, they shut the country down. I'm not going to be out here, you know what I'm saying, away from everybody. So when they started threatening that, that's when I left the program. But the things I was doing in the program, I continued to do them when I got back home to Goldsboro. And I didn't deviate. I worked out, went to church, studied, read. I started on that book right there, the top one, The Son of a Preacher Man. I started on that book. And, you know, I kept writing, kept going to church, kept working out. I didn't go around none of my old friends for it was like a year before I quote unquote came outside. Like people didn't even know I was home because I was at my house, my parents' house, church, the gym, or work. I started doing a class just like this too. I started doing the class and I got my peer support license back then. So I was doing the class every day. And I was really like putting out lessons and going through, you know, coping skills and grief because it was helping me too, because I was just learning how to live life sober. You know what I'm saying? To live and really have fun. You know what I'm saying? And really like avoid because it was a couple of times on that first year, I was like, man, will nothing else feel better right now with this situation than a drink? You know what I'm saying? Like it was a couple of situations that I literally had to drive around and go home and go to sleep because, you know, the situation was that bad. And what I normally had ran to, you know what I'm saying? I knew that it would bring me down. So I was able to survive those things, but I stayed away from a lot of people for a lot of time till I was able to build up that strength. Now I can go around my cousins, they drinking and smoking, and I'm looking at them laughing. Oh yeah, your mouth, you can talk. Your mouth ain't none. I'm joking at them, you know what I'm saying? Your mouth ain't none. Oh man, okay. Why your nose, man? Why you nose? You know what I'm saying? I'm able to judge, and I don't judge them. Go ahead.
Well, basically, when you do go around them and they doing what they do, you don't sit around them.
No. Yeah, it might be a cookout, family function, somebody's birthday, come out there, hey man, all right, man, good to see y'all, man. And most of the time they'll talk about, man, I seen what you're doing, I like what you're doing. That's some good stuff, man. You took the kids to the game. And so, and like I said, I told somebody, like, it got to a point sometime where they will start putting the stuff down. I'm like, nah, go ahead, man, because that's you. You know what I'm saying? I'm strong enough that, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got an understanding that they'll joke with me. Oh, you remember that time you said you put that piece of crack in the blunt when you were 16? So, yeah, oh, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You can keep bringing that up. But they joking, you know what I'm saying? But they really, like this particular cuz he really low-key jealous because of what I'm doing. But, you know, we joke and pick at each other. But he always bring that, oh, you remember that time? He always remembering the time. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, bro, you still doing it. And it's 2000. So when you try to change, you're going to have some people that's not going to want you to change because they still in it. And those are the people that you got to, you know, treat with a long hand. Don't let them get to you because if, you know, someday I will look at you, you know what I'm saying? I bring it back. Hey, look at you, and you still staying with your mama. You 46, you know what I'm saying? So, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so like I can really go there, but I'm like, all right, I know why you're doing this because, you know, I'm not where you are. So you're going to have a lot of people who, you know, are not going to like where you are. So. You got a question? Oh, okay.
It's just kind of similar to write-up. Because we're not the same age. Really Philly, I'm the last shit.
Yeah.
Because I go to Philly.
Uh,
I'm the last shit.
yeah.
Similar to that. Off straight liquor.
Yeah. So yeah, and see that's what the thing too. Like I used to think, okay, well I'm not going to get high today. I'm just going to have me some drinks, right? But many people don't know liquor is a depressant. It brings you down. Like if you ever, that's why I like being around people who drink because they be drinking, they be high, and then next thing you know, everybody's sitting down like, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand. Oh, okay. Well, you blessed to be here too. Like I need to sit down and start listening to your story then. Because but so a lot of things that we think are and like I said, when I started out as 12. It was fun. Like, okay, well this is, but then it got to a point where I thought I needed to have fun. And I tell everybody now, these last 5.5, almost 6 years that I've been sober has been the most fulfilling time in my life. Like I never thought, even when I was getting high, like I can't have fun without, getting high. But I have fun, I have joy. And what I used to like it too was like either when I was in jail or when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, I just used to run and have fun, and I didn't have to be high. Think about all the good times you had, the highs that you had when you was a kid. Like, and there was highs, right? You know what I'm saying? You playing the basketball, running outside, just drink from the water hose, whatever it was, you just having a slumber. Those were highs, right? Natural highs. And we still can have those, but we have to get that, I think you heard, you was talking about the chemical, the thing that drug bring you, it gives you that high that you can't get, naturally, but we naturally can get that high, you know what I'm saying? So, but once you get that high out of you, then you'll be able, you know what I'm saying? Like I get highs doing this, you know what I'm saying? I like doing this, you know what I'm saying? I like doing a video and say that, okay, how many people watching it? You know what I'm saying? It's a high, you know what I'm saying? So there's certain ways you can substitute, the unnatural highs for the natural high. So I thank y'all for allowing me to speak to y'all. I thank y'all for listening, and I thank y'all for engaging. I thank Ms. Starr for allowing me, to speak. I really like this. Like I said, I really like, and I really, like y'all. I really like, what I'm saying? Maybe I don't know all of y'all, but I see y'all here every day. So y'all, y'all being consistent in at least this part of life. So, just take whatever you will from what I gave you. It's a lot more, but like I said, hopefully we can do this again. And I can give a little bit more of my testimony. And Deacon, they go get passed off and play around for me. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, get it over on that side. Get it over on that side. Y'all remember that movie? Get it over on that side. Nigga, get it over on that side. Yeah, man, it's been real, man. I thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all.
So I hope you all enjoyed my testimony. I was not able to finish in that amount of time, but I'm going to do a part 2 with that class very soon. But if you are more interested in learning about, my life in the streets, you can order my book, Brushes with Death, The Blood of Jesus, from the website, jailhousepublications.com, or Son of a Preacher Man. That is one of my books, my latest book, Blue Lights in My Rearview, The History of Police Brutality in America Towards Blacks from Slavery Until Now. And also, this is a true story about me being falsely accused of a crime that I did not commit, having to defend myself, and, be exonerated of all charges. So, if you guys want a book, it's $20 a book. And, of course, you can get it through my website. And I certainly appreciate you for taking the time, to listen to this testimony. And as always, thank you for watching the videos. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, peace and blessings.